This is big.
Topics ranging from gun rights and private property laws to foreign property confiscation.
Breaking news from the State House, one of the big bills in front of the Senate.
Members of the Senate are focusing on gun rights in the wake of the Supreme Court's Bruin decision.
Here in the U.S., the U.S. Supreme Court is hearing arguments on a $10 billion lawsuit.
It's a case that legal experts will be watching closely.
God, how cool is this?
Major decision from the Supreme Court that could have larger implications on gun laws nationwide.
The Supreme Court today handed down a major victory for gun control advocates.
The ATF just made a shocking move that could affect millions of gun owners, and what happens next might surprise you. The Trump administration dropped their appeal against the pistol brace ruling, but here's where it gets interesting. They might still be planning to enforce restrictions through a legal backdoor that nobody saw coming. Right now, there's a massive legal battle unfolding that could determine whether your pistol brace suddenly makes you a felon. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the latest developments reveal a strategy so clever it caught even experienced legal experts off guard.
Your pistol brace is legal once again. Another court victory thanks to a Texas-Wisconsin tag team on this terrible rule.
This rule reclassified large format handguns equipped with pistol stabilizing braces as short-barreled rifles. The ATF overreach has been stopped once again. Today we're talking the end of the pistol brace rule.
We now have a nationwide injunction per a judge in Texas.
Pistol brace is illegal, or declaring that your pistol brace equipped pistol is a short-barreled rifle. That's gone.
Let me break down exactly what's happening, because this situation is far more complex than it appears on the surface. When the Biden administration originally pushed through the pistol brace rule, they essentially declared that millions of legally purchased items were now illegal overnight.
You had to register these pistols that were equipped with the pistol brace and to register them as short-barreled rifles.
This is not a gun decision.
No.
It's not. This was not decided on Second Amendment grounds.
But public safety concerns must be addressed in ways that are lawful. This rule is not.
Not giving notice, well, that's required. Well, and when you take that away from people, you don't follow the rulemaking process, and you have to invalidate the rule.
According to the new ATF rule, adding a brace to an AR-style pistol makes it a short-barreled rifle.
The final rule on factoring criteria for stabilizing braces is no longer in effect.
Gun owners across the country found themselves in an impossible position: either register their firearms, destroy their property, or become criminals. Multiple lawsuits immediately challenged this overreach. The most significant victory came when Judge Reed O'Connor issued a nationwide injunction, completely blocking the rule. This seemed like a total win for gun rights advocates. The Biden administration appealed this decision to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, setting up what many expected to be a landmark case.
They really don't know what to do with this one, which is always a good thing to see.
The court has said in common use, that's off limits. Clearly, pistol braces are in common use.
This is an issue that every gun owner should be concerned about, and we in Congress should be concerned about it too.
We here at the USCCA want to see Congress pass laws that will help reduce crime without infringing on the rights of law-abiding citizens.
Now, while Hunter wants to use the Second Amendment in his defense, his dad's administration is looking to make it more inconvenient for lawful gun owners in this country.
This is currently the rule until they decide to change their minds, which they inevitably probably will.
Then something unexpected happened. When the Trump administration took office, the Department of Justice made a surprising move. They agreed to drop the appeal entirely. On the surface, this looked like great news. The pistol brace rule was dead, and gun owners could breathe easy again. But as we're now discovering, the reality is far more complicated. Here's where things get really concerning. While the Trump DOJ agreed to drop the appeal, they've left a massive loophole that could allow them, or any future administration, to achieve the same result without needing any rule at all. They're essentially saying, we don't need the rule because we can restrict pistol braces based solely on how we interpret existing law.
My response to that is that's the same claptrap that they have been using for 20 years.
It also puts state laws in jeopardy that are similar to this law.
The government may not regulate individuals' possessions of weapons for self-defense.
It triggers something in me that something has to be done.
Everybody has a right, if they're a responsible adult.
The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Think about the implications of this strategy. By dropping the appeal, they avoid a potentially unfavorable ruling from a higher court that would create binding precedent. At the same time, they preserve their ability to go after pistol braces through statutory interpretation alone. It's a brilliant legal maneuver, but one that leaves gun owners in a precarious position. The Gun Owners of America and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton saw this coming. They filed a crucial legal challenge, arguing that simply dropping the rule isn't enough. They're demanding a permanent injunction that would prevent the ATF from enforcing their interpretation of the National Firearms Act against pistol braces, not just now, but forever.
We won't see changes overnight, but it's going to be quick.
This case could reshape how far states can restrict your right to carry it.
And today, the Supreme Court said that's unconstitutional. That puts a limit on the right to have a gun.
There is a difference between states deciding how they want to regulate any number of things versus stripping people of their rights to self-defense.
Give us transparency in how you're going to handle them. And if there's a roadmap of what you're going to follow that's more clear, then it's going to be a fair process for everyone.
Their recent court filing reveals something deeply troubling. Even after agreeing to drop the rule, the ATF appears to believe they can still treat pistol braces as short-barreled rifles under their interpretation of existing statutes. They're essentially saying the rule was just one way to accomplish their goal, but they have other methods available. This creates an incredibly dangerous precedent. Without a permanent injunction, the ATF could wake up tomorrow and decide to start enforcement actions based solely on their statutory interpretation. No new rule needed, no public comment period, no warning, just immediate enforcement based on their reading of decades-old law.
ATF is getting another lawsuit, this time by half of the country.
Basically, they kicked the ATF in the teeth. They seem kind of punch-drunk. They seem as though they got the bell rung pretty bad.
You couldn't get a firearm and carry it just because you wanted to be protected against criminals.
When things sound really good for gun owners in court, that doesn't mean it's over.
For the Supreme Court, it's all about language, reasonable suspicion, objective reasonable belief, or probable cause.
25 states have joined a lawsuit with the NRA going against the ATF pistol brace rule.
The legal maneuvering here is sophisticated. When Judge O'Connor struck down the original rule, he did so on procedural grounds, specifically that the ATF failed to follow proper administrative procedures. He didn't rule on whether their interpretation of the law was correct or incorrect. This distinction is crucial because it means the underlying legal theory remains untested. What makes this situation even more complex is the current political landscape. The Trump administration's position on firearms regulations has been inconsistent at best. While they've taken some pro-gun stances, they've also supported measures that concerned many Second Amendment advocates. Their handling of this pistol brace issue reflects that same uncertainty. By agreeing to drop the appeal while preserving their enforcement authority, they're trying to have it both ways. They can claim victory for dropping the rule while maintaining the power to restrict pistol braces whenever they choose. It's a politically calculated move that provides flexibility but offers no real security to gun owners.
This is a case that's been bounced around back and forth throughout the court system.
State can't make everywhere a sensitive place. You can't go hiking in some places and not be able to defend yourself against somebody that you run into.
It conflicts with the Second Amendment's right to bear arms.
Saying setting a higher threshold in an emergency could mean life or death.
Constitutional protections of your home are absolute.
The Texas lawsuit recognizes this danger and seeks to close this loophole permanently. They're arguing that without injunctive relief, gun owners remain under constant threat. The ATF could reinterpret the law at any moment, turning law-abiding citizens into felons with the stroke of a pen. This isn't just about pistol braces, it's about the fundamental question of how federal agencies interpret and enforce laws. If the ATF can simply declare that certain items fall under the National Firearms Act based on their interpretation alone, what's to stop them from expanding that interpretation further?
A judge in Texas gave everyone, every single American, injunctive relief against the ATF's rule against these braces.
This case could reshape how far states can restrict your right to carry it.
Give us transparency in how you're going to handle them. And if there's a roadmap of what you're going to follow that's more clear, then it's going to be a fair process for everyone.
Today it's pistol braces, but tomorrow it could be any number of commonly owned firearms accessories. The timing of these developments is particularly significant. As various pistol brace lawsuits are being dismissed as moot following the rule's demise, the Texas case stands as potentially the last line of defense. If this case is also dismissed without addressing the underlying statutory interpretation issue, gun owners will be left in legal limbo indefinitely.
The judge here took a issue with the rule itself.
Is a massive deal. It directly goes after the ATF's tactics over the last 2 years.
It pertains to these little guys, these pistol braces or stabilizing braces.
This will get appealed, and this might go back and forth a little bit, but for right now, this is where we're at.
ATF and the government is going to fight this every step of the way. And sooner or later, it will land before the Supreme Court.
What happens next will be telling. The Trump administration must respond to Texas's arguments about why this case shouldn't be dismissed. Their response will reveal their true intentions regarding pistol brace enforcement. Will they commit to not enforcing restrictions based on statutory interpretation, or will they try to preserve that option for the future? The court's decision on whether to grant a permanent injunction could set a crucial precedent. If granted, it would provide real, lasting protection against arbitrary enforcement actions. If denied, it leaves the door wide open for future restrictions based solely on agency interpretation. For gun owners, this situation represents a critical moment. The immediate threat of the pistol brace rule may have passed, but a more insidious danger remains. Without permanent legal protection, every pistol brace owner remains potentially vulnerable to prosecution based on nothing more than bureaucratic interpretation. The broader implications extend beyond just this issue. This case highlights the ongoing struggle between individual rights and government authority. It demonstrates how agencies can use creative legal strategies to achieve their goals even when their formal rules are struck down. Most importantly, it shows why constant vigilance is necessary to protect constitutional rights. As this legal battle continues to unfold, gun owners need to stay informed and engaged. The outcome of this case could determine not just the fate of pistol braces, but the future of how firearm regulations are interpreted and enforced in America. The stakes simply couldn't be higher. That's it for today, folks. See you in the next video.